Hi friends, welcome back to my channel, or if you're new here, my name is Ashley, and today I'm here to do my April wrap-up. So once again, I don't have any books to show you because a lot of the books that I did read were audiobooks I borrowed from the library, and then I had a couple kids books, which once again, I'm not quite sure where they went, and I had one other physical book, but it was an ARC, and after I read it, I gave it to my daughter, so I don't know where that one is either, but we're just gonna roll with it and put the pictures on the screen, and let's go through all the things that I read, which was actually quite a bit more than I thought that I did, so I'm pretty happy with myself right now. In the month of April, I have read 7 books. 2 of them were for my daughter. I'll put those in at the end. And I also had 1 DNF. The book that I DNF'd was Ready Player 2. I attempted to listen to it on audio, and I listened to it for 2 separate days, but I DNF'd it. I think I was about 30 to 40%, and it just was kind of monotonous. Like, I wasn't really being pulled into the story and like remembering details up thus far when I would go to pick it back up, and it just kind of felt like the same thing, only trying too hard to do the same thing as the first book. It kind of felt like there's some things being pushed, and I just didn't like that, so I went ahead and DNF'd it and considered the series DNF'd. For the books that I did read, I read 5 books for myself, and 3 of them were audiobooks, while 2 of them were physical books, which, who am I? I don't know, because I am not one to listen to more audiobooks than read regular books, but I think at this point, at least half of my reads, and maybe starting to trend on a little over half, have been audiobooks this year. I don't know what is happening right now. But the very first book that I read this month was Dinner for Vampires by Bethany Joy Lenz. This is a nonfiction book about the actress who played in One Tree Hill, which everyone I've seen talking about this book, they were ones who didn't really watch that show. I loved this show so much. As soon as I heard about this book, I was like, I really, really want to read this. And then I heard that it wasn't really too much about her being on the show as much as just all the rest of it. But I still really enjoyed this just as well as everybody else, and I rated this one 4.5 stars. The next book that I picked up was The Last Room on the Left by Leah Conan, and I picked this one up because it's the book of the month for the Sleep When I'm Dead book club, and this was on my TBR already, so I was really excited to read it. And this is the second Leah Conan book that I've read. I rated the first one 4 stars, but I couldn't tell you a thing about it, and already like this one I can tell is going to be pretty forgettable. I enjoyed it enough, like it kept me intrigued, but then I was a little disappointed by the ending of the book, and it was just kind of like, really, that's how this is going to go down? Okay, so I rated this one 3.5 stars. It was just okay, and I don't think it's going to be one that I really remember all that long. The next one was a totally random pickup one day, and I read Worst Case Scenario by TJ Newman. I had read the first of this author's books, and I believe I read it all in one day. I can't recall if I rated it 4 or 5 stars. I want to say 5 stars. This is another one that had a pretty good plot point, and it was definitely intriguing and kept me interested, and I rated this one 4 stars. The next book that I picked up was An Academy for Liars by Alexis Henderson, and this was like a random library find. It's not really up my typical alley. It's a fantasy and dark academia, and it kind of sounded intriguing, and I think I had heard somebody else talking about it, and whatever they had said made me interested. So I had happened to randomly find it and pick it up at the library, and it's been sitting on my cart for like ever. Well, I finally picked it up and I read it, and I was disappointed. I wasn't really thrilled with the result, I guess, of what the plot was pushing for. And it's just not a plot line that I really would have found intriguing had I known that it would be about that. And I'm trying to like keep it spoiler free because I can't recall if it's in the synopsis or not exactly what it ends up really being about, because it says one thing but then it's really not what the plot is really about. I know that's kind of confusing, but yeah, I rated this one 2.5 stars and I was glad to be done with it, really, by the time I was done reading it. The next book that I finished was an ARC that I won on Goodreads. I was so excited, and that is We Could Be Magic by Marissa Meyer. I believe this one is released on June 3rd, and this is just a standalone graphic novel about a girl who wants to work at an amusement park, and it's very reminiscent of Disney World, but of course they couldn't use that theme, and so it's a different type of princess theme park. It has all of the same iconic things. You know, there's a castle, there's princesses, there's characters, there's signings and photographs, just like they do at Disney. This park is created because an author, I think she wrote a book anyways, or she just simply made the storyline for movies, one of the two, or maybe they were books that became movies, something like that. But she wants to be a princess, and of course you have to try out to become one and like fit all of their qualifications, and she doesn't make it. She gets a different job within the park that's really just not the best, working at like one of the food stands, but she meets a guy and they start to get to know each other, and she decides that she's really going to try harder. She didn't really know at first kind of what to expect with her interview to become a princess. So now that she has done the interview, she knows what to expect. And so she's like, I'm going to try harder so that I can try again and maybe become a princess. My second try. And so she's just working as hard as she can. The plot goes from there. And of course there's mean girls who think she's not fit to be a princess because of the way that she looks or the way that she acts. And she just wants to prove everybody wrong. Anyways, it was very like reminiscent of Marissa Meyer's writing. It's considered a YA. There's not a whole lot of romance, but in the end there's a romantic plot, and I'm like, but the rest of the book kind of feels quite juvenile, and so I feel like it has a little bit of a balance issue, but it's okay. Like overall, I did really enjoy this. I rated it 4 stars, and I think it's going to do pretty well. The other 2 books that I read were books with my 9-year-old, and so we have Otherwise Known as Sheila the Great, and then Super Fudge, both by Judy Blume. These are the, I think it's the 2nd and 3rd books in the Fudge series by Judy Blume, and we are now currently reading the 4th, and so we will be finishing that one soon. We might finish it before the end of the month. I'm not sure, but if not, it'll be in next month's wrap up. But these are just really like nostalgic reads from when I was a kid, and I'm really enjoying them, and so is my 9-year-old. There is a little bit of humor in there that I'm like, wow, this was in here for little kids back then, but I kind of just skip over that part. Those are all the books that I read in the month of April. Other than that, I do have the results to the last round for the Aim for the Target reading challenge. So I will post the target here for you to see. And the books that I read, so I read 7 books, so I was easily able to find prompts to fulfill all of my points. So I ended up going with number 1, Odd Number of Pages, which I used Dinner for Vampires. Number 5, which is a new release, which was Last Room on the Left. It was released earlier this year. Number 7, Title Starts with A, which was An Academy for Liars. Number 12, Purple on the Cover, which was We Could Be Magic. And number 18, Red on the Cover, which was Worst Case Scenario. And so now I can go through and tally up my points and see how many points I earned for round 3. Alright, so round 3 is here, and I got 2 5s, 2 4s, and a 1. So that means that is 10, 14, 18, 19 points for round 3. And now that is the end of the challenge. And so we would count up all 3 points to get a total score. So I have 14, 14, and 19. So that is, I gotta do some math here, 47, I believe, 47 points. And there is a top score of 75. So, I mean, I didn't do too bad. I could have done better, but I thought this was really fun either way. Like, it was kind of easy and arbitrary, but fun. And I have some ideas for how to make it a little bit more interesting next time, a little bit more strategy. I have some time to really figure it out, but next year I might do this again. If you participated in the Aim for the Target reading challenge, I would love to see your scorecard. If you would let me know in the comments down below how many points you got, that would be awesome too. I hope everybody enjoyed coming along with me for this challenge. I was going to do a TBR, but I don't think I'm really going to plan a TBR and really just try and finish books that I'm still in the middle of. The books that I was in the middle of at the beginning of April, I'm still in the middle of at the end of April. So I have Harry Potter number 4, I have the Yada Yada Pro Group number 1, but then I'm also going to try and read 2 and 3. And then I also have the Perfume Collector that I'm trying to finish so that I can then move on and read something different. But then I just keep picking up audiobooks instead of actually reading the books that I'm in the middle of. So thanks for watching, and I will see you next time. Bye!